In today's video, I want to go over Mayhem 3 mode and just kind of talk about it and why I feel like it could be a lot better. So I guess going right into it, I just want to say that Mayhem mode can be very annoying, very annoying. You get increased loot drops and everything, you know, increase money, increase iridium, stuff like that, which is nice, and it makes the game harder. But I feel like it can make the game harder in different ways than what it's making it now. It honestly just makes the game kind of unfun to play at some points, depending on some modifiers that you get, and it's kind of throwing people off the game. I have a lot of friends that won't play the game now because Mayhem 3 mode is just not that fun. And the reason is, I'm gonna go right into it right here, and let's take a look at modifiers. I'm on Mayhem 3 right now, and I'm currently doing 50% less damage with normal bullets and attacks. So rip the Maggie build. Enemies take 50% less damage from incendiary damage. So rip any build from Mar for the most part. Enemies take 50% less damage from radiation damage. That, you know, it's just and then enemies gain plus 40% weapon damage. So I mean, that's fun. Like that makes the game harder. But these right here, the 50% less damage we do, is not fun at all. Like, it is terrible, honestly. Like, it makes the game so unfun. A way that we can improve this, as I talk about that, I'm just going to go into an element to see what modifiers we get. But the way that we could improve this, and I know it's going to sound crazy, is to honestly, you know, there's two ways. Look at Destiny. I feel like Destiny has their modifiers, you know, and their nightfalls or whatever, you know, it should be decent. There's no things that like reduce your damage, like or whatever. But anyway, let's see right here. 50% less damage for cryo, 50% less damage for radiation, less damage for corrosive. So that's literally just 3 elements right there. You just won't be able to use, like, unless you save and quit again. It's just not fun. Like, it's you can have a build, you know, it's like this build's so good. Like, you have a nice element to build, but then you have 50% less damage for all the elements, and it's just pointless. It's so unfun. Now, I know they have addressed that they're going to change Mayhem mode. I don't think they really have talked about what they're going to do, but I'm kind of going to use this video and kind of explain what like I would like them to do, and maybe they can consider if they see this video. So I'm going to take a look at it right here. So one way we could do it is, like I said, look at Destiny. They have their modifiers, you know, you have to use certain elemental types to damage a shield or whatever. It's not actually reducing the damage to the enemy. It's just making you use something specifically. So once you get that thing off, that thing's going to do the exact same amount of damage. They have modifiers that should increase your damage, but it also increases the enemy's elemental damage too. So it kind of is a risk-reward type of thing. You're doing more, but the enemies are also doing more. They have things like in Borderlands down here, where, like, you know, enemies are more accurate. Enemies, you know, they have greater, you know, explosion. That's one. Just stuff like that. You know, you take more damage in the air. Like, it's not actually reducing the damage in the way you play around a build. It's still a challenge. Like, it's still challenging. Like, it's fluid and challenging. Is if you could allow those modifiers on, it can be difficult, but still, like, not a straight up just, ugh, I gotta play this, man. Like, I gotta play this game mode. Like, it's awful. And I know I sound like I hate Borderlands 3 for saying this, and I don't. Like, I obviously don't. I'm making so many videos on it, and I have so much playtime in this game. Like, I straight up love Borderlands 3. That's why I'm making this video, because I'm just trying to get it better. But instead of talking about Destiny, I'm going to talk about a Borderlands way we could fix it. So I feel like it's pretty obvious. I'm going to come back to it. It's like right in front of our faces how we could fix it. So here we go. I'm gonna look at it right here. Mayhem mode 3, level 3. We have, you know, 100% health, 150% shield, 150% armor. They just have more health, armor, shields. That's fine. That's the way it should be. You're on a harder difficulty. But now we have modifiers like these right here. Enemies' weapons are 50% more accurate. Enemies' explosives have a greater increased area of effect. Okay, there's a lot more like these two, and not like these two as well. Like, there's one that enemies gain more gun damage. We saw that one earlier. Enemies have plus 45% more health. There's a bunch of stuff like that. So instead of having these, you know, less damage ones or whatever, or, you know, 50% less damage with guns and like other like elemental buffs. There's one, like, I think it's like 70% less damage with normal guns, and it's plus 70% elemental damage. So it just throws your builds off, because like you might be fighting Grave Ward and like, yo, I melted Grave Ward, like, yo, Pog. And then you realize, oh wait, I was using fire and I have a lot of fire buffs and I don't have 50% less damage resistance rate. So it's kind of, it's not consistent whatsoever. But and I know they did kind of like change the way you play the game, but I feel like it really doesn't do that. And most people just quit if they get a modifier they don't want to play. So what we could do is add more modifiers like these right here. You know, enemies have more health, enemies have more accurate, enemies can shoot 2 shots, enemies have more explosion damage, enemies have more, you know, AoE damage, which I know is kind of the same thing as explosion, but enemies spawn, like it spawn more enemies, like you know, 2 enemies can come out instead of 1. I feel like that would be fun actually. And that would make the game more challenging. It wouldn't be you doing less damage. It would be the enemies are better and a lot harder. But meanwhile, my build stays consistent and I can have fun with the game. And actually, I feel like it would make checking the modifiers fun. And be like, okay, well, I know the enemies are going to be a lot in this area, so I can actually, I was like, I can be prepared. Like, I can actually go into this fight and get ready to know I gotta fight double enemies. Not I can go in this fight and know I'm not gonna be able to do incinerary damage, but oh no, I can't respec my skills right here because I'm not in Sanctuary or any other place that has a respec station, and I'm literally not gonna be doing anything. And it's I might be biased. It might suck the most for Amara because, you know, her whole skills are really based around elemental damage. That's why I tried to make the Maggie build, which is basically just normal damage, because it kind of helps out a little bit around that. Unless you get the modifier from minus 50% normal bullet damage, which sucks. I feel like that is definitely a way that we could improve this. Like, it is so just unfun to play right now. Like, it's so just... You go into an area and you're doing less damage and your whole build is based around that damage. And like I said, you can't change it in that area because you're not in Sanctuary or, you know, any place that has a respec station. So you're stuck with it and you have to just keep traveling back and forth until you can finally get the build that you want to do it with. Like, it's so unfun. And then people, you know, and even me, like, people will post videos and stuff about, you know, killing bosses really fast, and you have to like make sure that, like, oh yeah, like, yo, no modifiers are on because, you know, your gun might be doing more damage because it's just not consistent. Like, it makes the game so unfun to play, and I really hope the changes that they do are the ones I'm explaining right now, and they just add stuff for enemies. Like, enemies do more damage, enemies have more health, enemies spawn in more things. I realize that enemies have more health and may make it a little less consistent, but having one modifier that might make it not consistent instead of, like, I don't even know how many. I know it's a lot because I save and quit so much trying to get modifiers right. It would be a lot better. Now, one final thing I would say is, and I know they're fixing on like menus and stuff too, I know they're trying to work on performance and everything, is to make it an easier way to see the modifiers. Like, instead of having to go into the menu right here and then immediately come back out, I know it's something so little, and I might be the only one that have a problem with this, but like, say you're in your skill tree or whatever and you gotta like come over, it can just be a hassle. If there was like a little button that could just like, you could press and your stuff will pop up on the like left side of your map up there, and you could just see the little modifiers they're on. They could even just have icons and just testing icons for them, and you can see what are on. Kind of like the Ghost Shell in Destiny, where, you know, you hit it and you can easily see what modifiers are on. You don't have to go into the menu and check what you're fighting against. But yeah, that's gonna do it all for me. I hope I got my point across, explaining how to fix Mayhem mode. You know, explain why I don't really like it and how it could be improved. But I really hope the changes that they're making, I don't know exactly when they're coming out, but I know they said they're fixing on some changes. I really hope they do stuff like this, because it's gonna make the game so much more fun to play. Like, and I hate that it's like taking people away from the game because they don't like the mode so much, and it feels like you have to play on that mode to get the best loot. I mean, you do get what, like 500% increase in loot drops. So anyway, that's going to do it all for me, guys. Let me know if you have the same opinion in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.